Okay, this time we got Munkbusiness, Grandmaster Munkbusiness, in fact, against Sympathy, who some people might recognize from the community for their artworks of dubious, what's the word?
Yeah, Sympathy is a huge weeb. I'm a big fan.
What do you think about Crystal Wisp?
Yeah, I mean, we buffed it, right? And people have been playing it quite a bit. I saw it a lot on ladder. So I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
When I like looked at Vanar, like I think that Crystal Wisp is quite good in one draw because you end up a bit like what's the word, more value. Uh, I tried it in the network test. It just felt like the body's too small, and everyone else is like jamming their Iraqi headhunters and stuff out so fast. My little two ones are just, I don't know, dying.
I mean, I think maybe it's like a playstyle thing because there are a lot of good players who think the card is good, but personally, I think I rate it among the lowest of anyone. My thinking is that if I want to survive, if I want to speed up one turn, like if I want the game to go one turn or to have one more mana, then playing a decently statted thing is probably going to buy me more time than trying to ramp while playing a 2-1. So I personally don't play it in any of my decks, but maybe I'm oblivious.
Yeah, Monk's Turn isn't that amazing. He's probably just not going to hit the two on here. Yeah, don't want to give them the mana freely.
Yeah, like it's a pretty interesting card from the perspective of um, how you play with it and against it, right? You're very incentivized to not clear it, and then your opponent gets to use it for something. So that's pretty cool. Here you're seeing that Monk Business is positioning so that the Healing Mystic uh, isn't going to die on board, and they're just like, well, whatever, the Night Star is going to die, but there's nothing I can do about that. Um, I think that the Night Star was pretty alright because there aren't that many Night Star targets against Vanar pretty often.
Ah, that's a good point. I haven't thought about that.
And here, is actually, I think, really good for the Vanar player because there's an empty board right now, and Monk Business is thinking that next turn they can get jaxed, right? And what do you do against a jax, right? I mean, most Abyssians aren't running Breath of the Unborn, so yeah, it's tough. This is really unfortunate.
Play the Sarlacc or the Shadow Dancer?
I think you play the Shadow Dancer in their face. Oh, I don't know about not hitting there because you're gonna get jaxed, right? Like, what do you? Yeah, I would have played the Shadow Dancer right in front of them because you can still punch them for 5, and it is kind of hard to clear.
Oh, and a Komodo Scavenger. I haven't seen too much of that, although I know Jay's like artifact deck was running it, was it?
You can see Monk Business mousing over it, reading the card. Yeah, yeah. So now, I mean, that was that's kind of weird, right? Because the Sympathy has ramped twice now, so I would expect their deck to be full of 7 drops or something, but their turn was a 3-1 and a 2-2, so
What
kind of weird.
good 7 drops does Vanna have access to? Or late game stuff? It's
I
Ancient
think
Grove.
that Ancient Grove is really not bad, and stuff like Red Sinja is like that's a totally playable card. Oh
Yeah, it's the rare sighting of a bad Sarlacc spawn.
man. Yeah, this I mean,
Oh, and Monk actually is running Breath of the Unborn there.
yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Because in the tournament format, you know what factions your opponent's playing, so I guess Monk thought it was pretty likely that they'd run into Jax. Um, this Frostborn Rhino is part of 2-card 9-mana combo to deal 14 out of
With
hand. With
Spirit of the Wild.
yeah, here they had to play it on 8, which is unfortunate because the card is really not good um, outside of that combo. And here, also it's sort of revealing your hand a bit. If Mug Business just sort of moves down left here, they can't be comboed because the Rhino is not going to have Slayer. This is terrifying that they're staying there instead of moving one to the left because now they can get comboed.
Guess he's just not scared of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. Maybe they know something that I don't.
Or maybe you know something that they don't. I think it's more likely. Oh, Arctic Displacer.
Wow, so they're running. So I mean, there was always this debate about which is the better Spirit of the Wild target
Why not both?
because Frosthorn Rhino um, is 14 out of hand versus Arctic Displacer is only 10. But Arctic Displacer can hit 2 columns further, right? Because you can Spirit of the Wild it and then move it out of Infiltrate. Whereas Rhino is like completely useless if it is not in Infiltrate at the time.
Yeah, what is it, a 6/5?
Yeah, 6/5 and Infiltrate gives it
Plus
plus
2
one plus.
celerity. Oh, is it plus? I thought it was plus 2 attack.
No, it's +1.
Oh, really?
Um, and yeah, I mean, also, it's unclear which one is the better card in a vacuum. I mean, probably it's the thing that has 5 health, the other thing that's 4 health. But I don't know. Sometimes the airdrop lets you do stuff.
Yeah, definitely when your opponent's like turtled on the other side of the board and managed to put a wall between you. Just
Oh, Monk Business must be afraid of Avalanche here. That's got to be it, right?
do you think Sympathy's running it?
Um, I don't know. They might. I think the thing with Avalanche though is that um, if the game is even-ish, then getting Avalanche is a huge deal. But if your opponent doesn't really have anything else going on, then it's not the worst, right? I mean, you take 4, you can't use General, but it's a lot better than um, Rhino Spirit of the Wild or something. So
You know what, Cardi is running, but might suggest Avalanche is the Alcid. You can chain avalanches with it, and that's rather brutal.
oh, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe that's something that tipped off Monk Business. Okay, yeah, sure. So respect for playing on that. And I mean, Sympathy here. I mean, with the super late game deck and still at full HP, so I think they're doing really really well here.
Yeah, I don't actually know who's winning though. I don't think either player is probably too upset right now. Seems rather close.
Yeah, it's definitely a close game. And I mean, here you can see that Sympathy certainly thinks that they have the better late game deck because they're like moving into Infiltrate here, and they're saying, if you want to come punch me, you're going to have to make yourself vulnerable to Spirit of the Wild. So um, then the Archon makes it impossible to get comboed like that.
No, the Dispel's not that good on a Archon.
Yeah, I think it just Sympathy. All right, yeah. So I guess Munkbusiness was right. Yeah, it was an avalanche. This is not a super impactful avalanche, though. I mean, it is scary to not be able to use your general here. If Sympathy then like plays a Fenrir or something right next to you, that can be really bad. It's pretty amazing that the Chromatic Cold hit the Archon here instead of the Sarlacc.
Yeah, that's true. I guess they couldn't do all their spells that turn without dispelling it, but I don't know if you need to play the Cold Biter, really. I mean,
I
I guess
think
it
that
starts eating through the Archon, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think what it means is that Sympathy has the combo in hand, and they're setting up for it next turn. I think that's sort of the only thing that could be.
I mean, I'd like to see that. It's always good to see those creative deck building choices pay off.
Yeah, I mean, though it is, it doesn't kill here, right? Because it's only going to be Arctic Displacer that can hit, so you're going to take 10, and then even without the Blood Tear, that would have been 12.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you do live at one. Um, over here. This is a hard spot for the Vanguard player, actually.
Yeah. There's a lot of big stuff on board.
And they just used a bunch of the removal, so I don't know if they have something in hand that's going to be able to the Revenant is probably the most important thing to deal with here.
Something like Aspect of the Mountain might help them get back.
Yeah, that card is really, really sick. Probably underplayed.
Oh, didn't expect that.
Yeah, I mean, Marco Solitude is really cool because it is flexible in that way. Um,
Oh, blast the entire turn?
yeah, maybe what they don't want to play any minions because if the Revenant runs into face, that's not the end of the world, and your Archon can't do anything right now because can't attack generals. Yeah, maybe that's a nice play. It's really tricky for Munkbusiness to know where they want to stand at this point, because if you move closer, then you're probably gonna get comboed. But you've seen the avalanche, right? It's probably another avalanche somewhere.
Yeah, Shadow Dance is going to heal them just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's nice because now you don't die to the combo. The combo does 14 here, and it's all of your mana, so and your general can't hit. So Munkbusiness is safe right now.
Just about perfectly calculated.
Yeah, yeah, strong play.
Still in a fine spot. Oh, wow. 2 turns of almost nothing. And he's got a bunch of cards. Like, I would really like to see what's in that hand, but unfortunately I didn't really.
Yeah, it must be setting up for some combo here, but I mean this Mark of Solitude is doing amazing stuff, right? Because you're not gonna die here, right? And nothing can, no minions can die, and Revenant isn't gonna kill you. So both players playing well, I think. Oh wow, he does run Hailstone Prison. I was thinking that they didn't run Hailstone Prison based on how much stuff they spent on the Archon earlier. I guess they just hadn't drawn it. This is a tough spot for Sympathy, I think, though, because um, the 2 Sarlaccs plus Revenant will kill you. So
I mean, and it's scary when your opponent like chromatic cards your face in this situation, right? There's 2 Sarlaccs on board. They're like basically saying, oh, "I give up winning board, but I'm gonna try and kill you." Uh,
because now Rhino Spirit of the Wild is lethal.
yeah,
So 15 to 13 is a big thing. But yeah, the flip side is that 2 Sarlaccs plus Revenant is exactly lethal for the Abyssing player. So not Chromatic Cold the Sarlacc here is it's I mean it's probably like the only way to win for the Vanguard player, but it is scary.
definitely a nice try.
Yeah, close game. Think that probably it looks weird from the outside, but yeah, I mean I think Sympathy was like one off lethal that whole game.